what does freedom look like? I suppose here in New Zealand, a relative freedom of expression and freedom of religion and freedom of speech, all those sorts of things. But there are some parts of the world that don't have freedom to even exist as a country. And, one of those situations is happening right on our doorstep in our own Pacific backyard. It is the nation of West Papua, who haven't been recognized as an independent nation. Joining us on the program now is an independence leader from West Papua, Octo Mote. Octo, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you very, very much for having me here.
In terms of your official title, you mentioned off air that you'd probably be better at introducing yourself than I would. What is your official title, Octo?
Yeah. So I'm executive, the vice president of United Liberation Movement executive. I just elected in, and our president is in West Papua. His name is Manasseh Tabuni. Mm-hmm. I'm in charge on international lobby to bring West Papua case back to United Nations at the General Assembly.
So you are a national leader in exile. Would that be an accurate way of paraphrasing that?
Yes.
Yes,
I am.
Even though our nations are relatively close on a global scale, I think there'll be a few New Zealanders that are going, West Papua, where is that exactly? Tell us about your nation, some of the things you love about that part of the world.
Yes, we are very, very the closest neighbor, actually, because it's just about 400 miles or maybe 450 miles above of New Zealand. You have so many Dutch here, and the Dutch used to colonize us from 1850 all the way to 1963, May 1st. And then they sell us like a cow to Indonesia. Mm-hmm. And then we are colonized by Indonesia since May 1st, May 1st, 1963, all the way. And so we colonized by the three colonials, Dutch, and then Japan, and then now Indonesia, and then we still fight. So the West Papua issue is an issue that raised from 1948, when Indonesia was preparing independence state. They would debate whether Papua is a part of Indonesia or not, and many Indonesian founding fathers said, no, they are different nations, they have a right to independence, but here we go, we still fight for it.
So a part of Indonesia, in some ways, well, depending who you ask, but certainly in terms of culture and heritage and even geography, not really part of Indonesia, part of, it's the western half of your eastern neighbours, PNG, Papua New Guinea, of course, and ethnically, culturally, much more in common with them than other peoples of Indonesia.
Absolutely, you're correct. We are Melanesian, we are not Asian, and we are very different. We are majority Christians, and Indonesia is a Muslim countries. Yeah. And then, they are Asian nation, and we are Melanesian and Pacific Islanders. Indonesia are very hard to build themselves as a Pacific Islanders. Basically, they started around 2015 when United Liberation Movement accepted as a member at the Melanesian Spearhead Group. But yes, we are very different, and we never participate in Indonesian nationalism. Mm-hmm. There is no reason whatsoever for us to be part of Indonesia. We just because of the Dutch colonized West Papua as well as Indonesia. That's why Indonesians said everything that was under Dutch are Indonesia. But also they go beyond it. When they invade East Timor, was not Dutch colony, but they invaded. So this is aggression of Indonesians' a dream to build the Sukarno back then dream all the way to Madagascar, all the way, entire Pacific.
Certainly, this has been a long history of colonization and betrayal by various colonial powers. What is the situation in the moment? At the moment, though, you are, of course, wanting independence. Is that being recognized internationally? Do you have support for this movement?
Yes, the current situation we will be facing very the worst our lifetime, because the president who will lead Indonesia is a criminal, Prabowo Subianto, and he's indicted the criminal. He was fired by Indonesian military because of his criminal activities, and then he will be president by October. And he's not only known for his human rights violation, but he's also very involved in mining, a private company. He's a very wealthy man. His brother is cutting our forest to palm plantation, and they're destroying West Papua natural resources, environmental, and they really try to wipe us out from our land. We are only less than 3 million. We are facing 270 million population in the countries.
Yeah.
And our support West Papua for our struggle for independence, actually it's recognized by Pacific Island countries. In 2013, Melanesian Spearhead Group recognized our inalienable right for self-determination.
Yep.
Because we never have exercised that right. We're supposed to be first country in the world, in the Pacific, that's supposed to be independent before Samoa.
Yeah.
But then, the United States of America interfering to press the Dutch and hand over us to Indonesia. And then simply because of the America really would like to dig our gold mining and Freeport.
I mean, you mentioned the natural resources there, and this is certainly a complicating issue. And tragically, often the story with colonization is the exploitation not just of the people but of the land. West Papua has a range of wonderful natural resources, perhaps most significantly huge reserves of gold and copper, multinational companies involved with this. These people don't want to let go of your land.
Yeah, and that is why the military operation that today is happening as we speak today. Entire highlands are under military operation since 2018, and there are more than 80,000 people are fleeing in the forest. And I really hope that the listener here are really willing to speak up about this. Imagine if military personnel come and take your land, burning down your house and destroy your gardens, and you have flee from from your home and running to the forest and cave, and every night you sleep. That would be the last night of your life in this earth. So I think it is important for listener here to really argue with the New Zealand government.
Yeah.
New Zealand government, they're supposed to stand up. This nation is well known for supporting environment destruction, supporting human rights. And so really we are looking up to this country, because we can really hope Australia. Australia always been supportive of Indonesia, but hey, here in New Zealand, you are well known for your leaders are also mediating Bougainville and Papua New Guinea conflict. And so why don't you pursue your government, Labour Party, National Party, join with the Green Party and Maori Party who are standing for us, and be mediator on West Papua. This is the longest conflict, of in a political history.
I mean, you mentioned Bougainville. there, and of course there's been ongoing conflict in that part of the world. In some ways, though, does what has happened, what continues to happen in Bougainville, give you hope? This was another island nation dominated by mining interests that, to an extent, they're continuing to fight, of course, but they have perhaps achieved some of the independence that they've fought for. Is there hope in their story?
Yes, there is always hope, and we are confident we will win one day. But the model of Bougainville really happened because of the PNG government willing to open a dialogue.
Yeah.
But for us, same things as the Bougainvillean, we will never give up our land. We will fight all the way.
Yeah.
And so. I believe that, the global politics is also changed. And once the human rights and the climate change, all of this that bring the civilization, the concern about the survival of civilization become foundation of bilateral relation and international relation. West Papua is the of course, we'll get international support because West Papua environment is one among three lungs of the world, besides the Amazon and Delta Nigeria.
Yeah.
And so, defending West Papua's environment and indigenous people's right is actually saving the world.
Yeah.
Because if the Indonesian colonial, wipe us out, but also destroying this environment, lungs of the world, then small island countries will be getting the first impact of the climate change. And so let's talk in the global context that we West Papua really fighting to save this earth, not only saving our life.
And certainly, as a nation, has more value than the gold that lies beneath the surface there. Octo, what would be the best outcome from your point of view? I know that there's various political groups and factions that say that merging with Papua New Guinea would be the best outcome, or perhaps an independent state neighbouring Papua New Guinea. What would be the best of outcomes from your point of view, Octo?
One of the examples that I always, when I'm talking to many, forum around the world, the Pacific being a peaceful region. Kiribati and Tuvalu used to be one country. And then after certain years, they come up with the idea, the leaders meet, and then they said, hey, why don't you, because we happen to be different to kind of culture.
Yeah.
And why don't we just separate it ourselves? Kiribati independence and Tuvalu independence. That kind of a process can be happen in the future.
Mm-hmm.
But for the first, when we get independence, there are so many issues that PNG have to deal with.
Yeah.
And then there's a nation process that West Papua have to deal with. And so I think that once we sorted out those, and when the peacetime, the unity of West Papua, create peace in West, both island, the east and west, would be a good idea. But it can be discussed later once, all these nation building processes are sorted out. And
firstly, separation from Indonesia, and then you work out the boundaries from there. Is that pretty
exactly
much? Okay.
Exactly.
Okay.
So what Bernard Nairokopi used to say, deal in our Melanesian way.
Mm-hmm. No, very good. Now, just finally on this, Octo, what can we pray for? Because I know that you're a person of faith as well. There'll be people listening to this that also perhaps have now a broader understanding of the issues that West Papua are facing, thanks to your explanation. But here in New Zealand, how can we support you in prayer? What can we pray for, Octo?
Yeah, so what really you can pray for is pray to so that Papuan people survive. West Papuans movement is survival, because the intention of Indonesian government really is to wipe us out. And on so many statements by the Indonesian generals, from Ali Murtopo in 60s, and then Luhut Panjaitan, who is minister now, he said, for example, Papua is our land, and so therefore, if you want a land, go to Pacific and the Pacific Islanders country might give you land. So we really we need prayer survival of West Papuans. Secondly, we need so that this Papua issue can be brought back to UN, and we need a prayer so that this the New Zealand government really stood up defending us in the human rights ground and environmental destruction ground, and give Papuans to exercise our right of self-determination.
Well, we certainly will uphold you and your people in prayer. Thank you so much for your bravery, the wonderful work that you're doing on behalf of your people. Thank you so much for taking the time to join us today.
And thank you very much for having me in Rhema studio. Lord bless this studio, become tools to spread the news, peace, our region, but also around the world.
God bless. Thank you, Octo. Hey, thanks very much for joining us in the Rhema studio. Thanks very much for watching the interview. It's kind of nice to have an audience, actually. And if you did like what you watched, then do give us a like, do give us the thumbs up. And if you'd like to see more interviews like that one, or perhaps even better, subscribe and those interviews will come straight to you. Don't forget to turn on your notifications, and we'll see you in the next one. Cheers.